The folks who want to build this mosque, who are really radical Islamists who want to triumphantly prove that they can build a mosque right next to a place where 3,000 Americans were killed by radical Islamists, those folks don't have any interest in reaching out to the community. They're trying to make a case about supremacy. Nazis don't have the right to put up a sign next to the Holocaust Museum in Washington. We would never accept the Japanese putting up a site next to Pearl Harbor. There's no reason for us to accept a mosque next to the World Trade Center.
Did you see what Newt Gingrich said? I really hate to repeat this. I hate to give him oxygen. I really do. His comments have been so inflammatory. I am surprised by so little in Washington, D.C., but even when I see comments that Gingrich has been making lately, I just gasp, going, what? What is he doing? This sends a horrific statement across the world.
One of the great ironies is the people who are doing this mosque, this community center, want to develop an American version of Islam that competes around the world with the Wahhabi, with the Saudi intolerant version of Islam. So this issue now is being watched around the world to see whether Muslims in America have rights, have opportunities that Muslims in lots of other countries don't. So this has actually become an important aspect of our battle for the hearts and minds, the battle for hearts and minds in the Muslim world, and whether there can be an American version of Islam that is more open and tolerant.
This quote is stunning, and I would say stunning and irresponsible.
We've descended to one of the lowest points in our politics over the past 5-10 years. Newt Gingrich is nothing more than a political pyromaniac, putting gasoline on fires that don't even exist. And he's not only doing it here in the United States. When his comments are read and translated around the world, he is doing it in places where we might have the potential to cement or build a friendship in Muslim nations.
I am feeling further and further distant from the people who are running my party, and never more distant than this morning when I wake up to read what Newt Gingrich, a guy who's leading in a lot of presidential preference polls across the country, had this to say: this would be like putting a Nazi sign next to the Holocaust Museum. I don't know where to begin. To suggest that someone trying to build a tolerant center for moderate Muslims in New York is the equivalent of killing 6 million Jews is stunning to me. This is madness. There are elements of our party, Mark, that are marching through the fevered swamps of ideology, and I say that as an intense, hard-charging, small government conservative.
I think bringing the Nazis into the argument is always absurd in American politics because there is no valid comparison there. So I think Newt went too far with that comment. I think he's gone too far.
He has gone too far. It's deplorable. It is sick politics. And I pray to God, sincerely, that some Republican on the national stage, some elected leader, will have the courage to call Newt Gingrich out, because until the party stands up to this type of extremism, this is a party that will find itself further and further marginalized by these voices of hate and anger. The Gingrich comment.
Yeah.
So over the top. When Newt Gingrich compares Muslims to Nazis, which he did, unmistakably, compared Muslims to Nazis, that is contemptible. I suggest this man read the Constitution of the United States of America, and that he reveres the Constitution of the United States of America, and he stops pandering to the lowest base in American politics, and instead embraces the genius of our Constitution. Whacking Newt Gingrich is too easy. Yeah. Pat Buchanan. Pat said that Gingrich went over the line.
Newt Gingrich, former Speaker of the House, who apparently, because he has had 2 badly failed marriages, quite publicly failed marriages, has now married his ambition to his ignorance on this issue in a craven attempt to get votes as he thinks he's going to run for president of the United States. That's what it's about.
Imagine if you were a Muslim American and hear that the building of a mosque is equated to slapping a swastika in a Holocaust museum. What must be going through those Muslim Americans' minds? This isn't just about the rights of Muslims. This is about people of all faiths. Has nothing to do with Muslims. It has everything to do with Americans and the rights we are given by our founding fathers.
Yes.